Hi friends, I'm Sue Ann Delk. Today is Wednesday, December 16th, 2020, and this is my daily report and card pull. Thank you for joining me. So, I'll tell a funny on myself tonight. This is 2 nights in a row. So this morning, Alan and I put together a nice crock pot full of chili, homemade chili to cook all day. And I came home at lunch to check on it. It smelled so good. I had to sneak a little taste, just a teaspoon, just a little bit. And then this evening, for supper, of course, we each had us some. And I left the crock pot to cool, so that the chili could cool down, and then I would put it in a storage container, and then put it in the refrigerator. So I went back upstairs to the kitchen. Hi, Burrito. I went back upstairs to the kitchen about an hour later. I had left the dang crock pot on. There was only maybe a little over a cup of chili left. And so that's all the food matter that was in the crock pot with it on. At least it was on low, but it was on that whole time, and it was kind of black and crunchy. So, and it was also super hot because it didn't have enough volume in it. I went ahead and put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator. It's probably still perfectly edible and will taste just fine. It may need a little water stirred into it. But talk about a dumb bunny. I was mad at myself for that. I was fussing at myself. It doesn't take a whole lot of sense to remember to turn off your dang crock pot after you serve your chili or whatever is in it. I just don't know what's wrong with me these days, I tell you what. A bit of good news. I got a call today from the oncologist's office, and the tests that they did for my 3-month checkup came out fine with nothing to worry about, they said. So they will see me again in 3 months. Well, 3 months from that date. And I said, great, looking forward to it. Happy about that good news. That means that in that particular spot that they scraped, there are no cancer cells. So yay. It's supposed to get cold tonight. For the past week, they've been saying, oh, it's going to get really cold. It's going to get to 30. No, it's going to get to 28. No, it's going to get to 26. But the last I looked said that the low tonight is 34. And see, I'm looking at it again right now on my little tablet. Yeah, it says the low tonight is 34. It's not actually tonight, though. It's not going to hit that low until, I think, 5 or 6 tomorrow morning. But that's the way they do it anyway. So 5 or 6 tomorrow morning, it's going to get down to 34. So because of that, I didn't pull all my plants up and try to cover them. I just left them be. I don't think 34 is going to hurt anybody. I hope not anyway. I'm going to be mad at myself again if it does. So, that's my report for the day. That's the weather. That's the the meal report and the oncology report. Burrito is over here knocking over my Christmas cards. Thank you, Burrito. Yeah, she's a good girl. Alright, so I've just been kind of shuffling these cards while I've been talking to y'all. So I think it's time we pull one. What do you think? on, just one. They're thick, sticky. Is that fire? F-I-R-E, fire. Card 11. My face is red and splotchy tonight. I'm feeling a little run down. Two more days in the weekend, so just always waiting for something. Waiting for the weekend, waiting for the new year, waiting for this, waiting for that. I said I wasn't going to do that. I said I was going to just live in the moment. But when you're tired and need a break, it's hard to not look forward to the day that you can get a break. Number 11, fire. A jackal-headed guardian. Dumatef, one of the four sons of Horus. The nature is movable. Key words for the upright: energy, creativity, loyalty, valor, ardor. Upright meanings of this card. Fire represents the application of available energy according to where it falls in a reading. Spiritually, it suggests creative gifts that can be used to bring light. The ancients employed the symbol of the phoenix, a mythical bird which was reborn from the ashes of its own funeral pyre, to illustrate the spiritually rejuvenative nature of this element. Unlike the more impersonal kind of inspiration received from the archetypes, fire is utterly personal and relates to the higher self, or that individual creative spark unique to each and every one of us. The psychological, mental, or subconscious level. Personal energy and mental creativity are signified here. The creative artist, ideas person, inventor, writer, and so forth. A little understanding of the nature of the element of fire will help. Fire can burn brightly and consume all around it, or it can die down to an ember. People who have the element of fire strongly in their nature will exhibit such personality traits. At this level, fire can also represent a condition that is being kept alive or aflame. In the 7th house, for example, a deep relationship, or in the 5th house, a specific talent that will endure into life's more mature years. Fire's qualities are loyalty, valor, and energy. So if your question concerns a condition where any of these principles might prove handy and fire appears, you may count yourself fortunate. The material, mundane, or conscious level. Burning bridges for the better is one of fire's indications at this level. Pulling down old edifices is another, as well as a general purging, according to the house and nature of the inquiry. Fire purifies and refines, so if a situation is not to your liking, the indication is that you will be inspired or prompted by your own psyche to pursue a line of action that will ultimately burn up the rubbish and resolve the problem. Got a problem? Burn it. Where's the reverse? Okay, all that's reverse. For meditation. Meditate on fire for that creative spark you can't quite seem to discover. Fire energies can also help you to think for yourself and give you the courage to stand alone should your conclusions lead you into avenues of thought and experience which do not meet with the approval of those around you. As a talisman, people visiting hostile, primitive environments usually find comfort and safety in a fire, for fire is a protective element for man. Cartouche's fire can serve you in a similar way, and it can also help to keep all fiery things running smoothly in your life, from domestic gadgets to inspired creativity. And by the way, it does discourage arson. The symbol. always something going on around here. In the Egyptian funerary rites, the heart and lungs were given to Dumatef for protection, and the jackal head appeared on the top or stopper of the appropriate canopic jar. This symbol is naturally in tune with the element of fire, as all heat and energy leave the body when the heart stops beating, while the lungs provide the essential fuel for the life force. There are good occult reasons why the cards of the four elements have been placed under the influence of the four sons of Horus. Traditionally, these four godlings always appeared seated on a lotus in front of the throne of Osiris in heaven. They were not, in fact, Horus's actual progeny, but represented the four winds, the 4 points of the compass, or the four elements. In other words, they were the sons of Horus because they served all nature, over which he was the supreme lord. Representations of these four principles always appeared in tombs, usually in the form of canopic jars which held the vital organs taken from the body of the deceased, their role being a preservative and protective one. But the four elements are as much a part of our everyday material world as they are of those principles they represent. They follow us through each and every stage of our spiritual ascension, in and out of physical existence. Fire is considered to be the senior element, and because of its refining nature, its numerology is number 11. Creativity through transformation. The ancients believed it was possible to have a working relationship with personalized spirits from the elemental group, a tradition followed by occultists to this day. However, this is not intended as a textbook for the aspiring magus, so we will limit our references to the information necessary for the use and understanding of the cartouche cards. Well, all right. We don't want to become a textbook here. So, here's the book we're using for this card deck. There's the back of the card. It's called cartouche. A cartouche is what this shape is. A long, what do you call that? Is it an oval like this? That's little hieroglyphs. And then here it is again. Cartouche. Egyptian cards. Words no work, brain no work. Cards. There we have it, fire. Divination cards, I guess you would call them. So, that completes our card pull for today. Sorry, I'm squirming. Hot. When my face gets like this, it feels like pinpricks all over it. One time it was so bad I had to go to my clinic, and they gave me a shot for it, a shot of some kind of steroid. But it's only been that bad maybe twice that I had to go and get a shot. Usually it's just a little bit of red and pinpricking, and then it calms down. It usually will calm down once I relax and get some rest. And, you know, eating spicy chili for supper probably didn't help the situation. But it was so good, I couldn't help it. I just couldn't help myself. Alright. I have a dear friend I want you to keep in your prayers if you would oblige me. She is sitting with her mother, who is in hospice. And she has been by her mother's side almost nonstop for a couple of weeks now, and it's just a hard and very sad situation. I hate to see anyone have to go through that. We went through that with my mom, and it was sad. My sister Debbie was there at her side, at Mom's side for, oh gosh, it was 2 weeks at least. And she was not leaving. She was not going to leave Mom. And that's where my friend is now. That's the situation she's in. She gets relieved occasionally by home health and by a worker that she hired to help her, and also by her daughter, so that she can, go home and I mean, she still has a household to run, so she's got to go home every once in a while and, take a bath and get a change of clothes and so on and so forth. Probably take care of her husband. And so my heart is just breaking for her. So please, if you will, say a prayer for her. God will know who you're talking about. We pray that God's will be done, and relieve the suffering. All right, so y'all ready for the holidays? Ready for Santa Claus to come to town? Have you done your Christmas cards? Have you done your Christmas shopping? Are you going to cook a turkey? Are you going to cook a ham? Eleanor and I are going to shake it up a little bit this year. We're not doing a turkey. We're not doing a ham. We're going to do something different that's not Christmas food, and it's not even American food. We're going to stretch our little cooking wings a little bit and try something we've never tried before. Like we're either going to do Italian, and I know he found at least one recipe he wants to try in an Italian cookbook. I think it was manicotti, something like that. And we also have an Indian cookbook, because we have recently realized, well, I say recently, in the past couple of years is what I mean by recently, we've discovered that, hey, we like Indian food. It's spicy and warm, and the rice is good, and the chicken's good, and so we found an interesting looking recipe in an Indian cookbook. So we may do Indian, or we may do Italian, or we may do Mexican food, like Spanish rice and some enchiladas and some tamales. Sounds good. Hot tamales. Yeah. We'll see. We're not sure yet, but we'll decide over the next few days. Make our list, check it twice, and go buy a bunch of weird groceries, because we're not going to have probably anything that we're going to need for those recipes. Yeah, the manicotti he picked out even had a recipe to make the manicotti shells from scratch. What? I've never made pasta from scratch, so this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Downtime, time at home, time in the kitchen with my sweetie. Hopefully no fight will ensue over how to do the recipe. I'm sure it won't. I'm just being silly. All right. I thank y'all for joining me. I hope you will join me again tomorrow, and I hope that you have a good evening. Stay safe. Sleep well. Good night.